friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to go through with y'all my top 10 plants from the month of July. I feel like things in my collection have just like popped off this month, even more than they have the rest of the growing season. I think the weather's just been like slightly better, so that's helped. But things are doing really well, and I just wanted to share them with you and like revel in the excitement together. So that's what's happening today. Before we get into it though, I want to say, if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you're not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate it. Let's look at these plants. So the first one that I want to talk about is probably this, because it's the closest. My Variegated is putting out a new leaf. Look at that. How freaking exciting is that? It's definitely not hardened off yet, so I don't think it is full size quite yet. As of right now, it's about 2 hands tall, which is exciting. I mean, these leaves before, they are quite, not necessarily large, but I wouldn't call them small. I know that they are like looking a bit weird, so we can just ignore those leaves and just focus on the brand new one that I have. It's just so exciting, and like I really don't know. All advice would be appreciated here. I don't know why all of my new leaves come in with a bit of a tear in them, but this one, it started out quite small and it's kind of just like grown as the leaf has grown. And the same thing happened with my regal. It like came out with these tiny little tears on them, and I don't think it's that something knocked it while it was emerging or anything. I was thinking maybe it's like humidity or something not quite being perfect with them, because I mean, this one could probably be in a more humid position, but it's just too big to fit in sort of my cabinets and stuff, so it just has to live just out in my home, which in general is fairly humid, so I'm not worried about it, but it probably could benefit with slightly more humidity. But that's a problem for another time. I'm just excited that this one's finally doing something, because it's been so long since it has done anything. I've currently got it in no drainage in semi-hydro, because I found this is such a thirsty freaking plant that it's kind of the only way. Like, semi-hydro makes sense because otherwise this thing is just not going to get enough moisture. It basically constantly needs moisture, and so I've put it in here. I do think I need to give it a bit more at the minute because I can't see the water level in here. I like to try and keep it filled to about there if I possibly can, and I actually have a level of fluval at the bottom as well. I know it's all kind of over to one side, but fluval in there as well, which would adds some like extra nutrients to the semi-hydro in case I don't fertilize every time, because sometimes I don't fertilize it. I just need to put in water and I just do it quickly, and the fluval kind of then acts as fertilizer, because I've also heard that work phantoms are insanely hungry, and I feel like that is pretty much the experience that I've had with them. I hope this leaf keeps sizing up. I think it will, because it's definitely not hardened off yet, but we will see. But for now, I'm just glad that it's doing something, because it's taken so long to do anything, and I would love for it to grow. I feel like my regal is growing so fast this year, and this one is just done. Not basically nothing, but this is the first thing it's actually done in quite a long time, so I don't know. Another one that I've got that is exciting, because I kind of thought I had lost this plant, is my Alocasia Scalpa. Look at that! So I moved this from my pond box into the Millsbow cabinet probably a few months ago, and basically when I did that, it like freaked the F out. It had a few leaves when I put it in originally, but as soon as I put it into the cabinet, it was just like, absolutely not, I'm not having this, and kind of died back to nothing. And so I just kind of left it in there, made sure it did stay hydrated. It didn't just like go thirsty or anything. And eventually it put out this new leaf. I think this came out this month as well. So I'm just really, really excited that it is back in business, because like, look at this. It's so reptilian, this leaf. And like the shine on it and those veins and like the sort of the dark, I wouldn't call it, like, it's definitely not a contrast vein, but it's like a extra dark veination. So I'm just really, really pleased that this one has fully recovered, because I was legitimately expecting that it might not. I wasn't like holding my breath for it. It very well could have died, but it didn't, and I'm really, 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 really glad about that. I guess I could talk about the other one that I also had they've gone through similar things, because they were both in the pond box and now they're both living in the Millsbow. This is my Alocasia Jacqueline, and oh my freaking goodness, this for such a long time, it was only putting out leaves about, or like, I guess it didn't really grow, but the leaves it had were like this size, which were not very big. But since I have put it in the cabinet, it has definitely sized up a good deal. Like, look at the difference in that sizing. It is so exciting, and I just can't wait until this one grows big and beautiful. I know it's going to do absolutely wonderful things, and I think it just needed to, this one actually needed to be in the cabinet. This one didn't die off or anything when I switched it over. It's now thriving as opposed to doing nothing, because for a long time in the pond box it was doing not very much, and so I think it just needed that change of environment to the cabinet, which is, I feel like this cabinet is more ideal for the Jacqueline and probably less ideal for the Scalpa, but it's just so cool. And again, the texture on these leaves, this is why I love Alocasias so much, that all of their leaves are so different. This one's have like really, really fine hairs on them, and even the shape of the leaf is like really, really striking. It's just such a fun, odd one, and I'm really glad that it is doing well. It does look a little bit leggy at the minute, and maybe I need to pot it deeper now that it's growing taller. Maybe it needs a bigger pot. I don't know. Let me look at the roots. Okay, there's not really any roots coming out the bottom, so I don't think it needs to be repotted yet, but maybe put a little bit deeper into the pond, just so it has that a little bit more support. You can see it's like a little bit wobbly there. I would like it to stay a little bit more upright. Oh, and the cool thing about this one as well is it looks like it's growing from two corms, but it's just actually a twin corm. It's like one corm with two growth points on it, which is quite fun. I've never experienced that before, but I really enjoy it, and I'm glad that this one is actually doing something now. Oh, so much fun. This next one is just doing the most at the minute. It's hard to show y'all because it's just doing so much. This is my Begonia Arabian Sunset, and it is just going crazy at the minute. Like, do you see how much plant I have in here? Basically, when I put it on the trellis that's in here, I don't even know if you can see it, it's covered by, there's a trellis in here. When I put it on there, it wasn't that much taller than the trellis, and now it's just going and going and going, and I am loving it so much. And then the new leaves that it's giving me are like quite, sorry, this is really hard to show y'all, are quite large as well. Like, look at the size of that. They're not like crazy or anything, but they are just doing so well, and it looks so dark in this lighting. It looks almost black, and I mean, it is kind of almost black, but looking at it from the other side, it is so red. But I am loving this one, and I'm loving how much it's loving life at the minute. I do think I need to do a little something to to probably help. Oh, we're really tangled up in here. I need to do a little something to help these top bits. There we go. To help these top bits have a bit more support, just because it is so floppy there. I would like it to have some more support. It really is like kind of desperately asking for it. And I mean, that's fine. Also, I haven't noticed any more thrips on it since that one leaf a little while ago. I don't remember if that was I think it might have been in a Patreon video where I found thrips on this one. But I haven't seen any more damage or like any signs of thrips on this one since. And so I feel like we are in a really good spot with it. And I just know it's going to keep doing really, really well. And y'all know I'm kind of having a begonia moment right now and really, really loving my begonias. I actually have some more that I'll be showing you in a little bit. But it's just, I don't think I've been so no, I have been excited about things. I feel like suddenly I get into like a new genus of plant and like everything about them excites me, which I don't know, it's a bit of fun. It feels different, and trying new ones is just really exciting. And I feel like even though this one isn't new to me, it's doing really great things. And like I can't believe how fast it's freaking growing. So absolutely loving that, and I'm just so happy it's doing so well. Moving from a really big one to a little very tiny win, but it is a win nonetheless. Look, y'all! My variegated Christmas cactus, Thanksgiving cactus, is putting out a new leaf. So that means it's gotta be rooted in here. And it's gotta be happy because it's giving me a new little leaf. It is so freaking exciting, and like it just gives me hope, because I was again afraid I was going to lose this one, just because it is, I feel like they're quite fragile, especially when you only have like one cutting left. I started out with more cuttings, but they just didn't make it. But I only had one cutting left, so I was like, it's like this or nothing. Luckily I have been like given some more cuttings of variegated Thanksgiving cactus that are in a different pot. But I just like, I really, really, really want this one to succeed, and eventually if I can join them together, that would be awesome. But I'm just so glad. Look how cute that little thing is. And it is very, very, very white, which does make me a little bit nervous. I was kind of hoping that, given beggars can't be choosers, I was kind of hoping, because this bottom leaf is kind of like split, that when it gave me leaves it would give me two, and it would kind of give me like a more green side and a more white side in case it gets too ghosty. But I don't know if having ghost leaves on the Thanksgiving cactus is a problem. I've not experienced it enough to know if that is an issue or not. So I'm not, as of right now, I'm not worried. It does still have green on it, so it's not like it's not got anything. But I just like, I'm so pleased that that's actually done something and rooted, and it just took patience. I got this in January. Oh god, I got this in January, and it's only taken like over 6 months to actually give me something of reliability. So just patience is key. Patience is key with some of these things. But yeah, it's just so cute. The next one that I am loving at the moment, and I'm very excited for, is my Raffida decursiva, because it has put out this leaf for me recently, and you can see it's got more than 3, which is the previous max number of lobes I had. It's got more than 3 lobes on it, which is super duper exciting. And I think that was that the one? I think that was the one that I got originally that didn't have a growth point on it. It was like a mid-cut, and so it was taking its sweet time to put something out. But it has since put out, I think, 2 leaves. And this one, like, I feel like this just means it is happy. The more fenestrations it has, the bigger leaves it grows. It's like the happier it is. So I'm, oh, or is it this one? Oh, I really can't tell. I'm not sure which side is which. Maybe this one is actually the, like, the new bit I got where it has like multiple different sections. Either way, it's finally growing, which for like, I feel like 9 months plus it didn't grow at all, and I had to get a second one in while I was waiting for the old bit to put out a new growth point. But now it's actually doing something, and it is actually like attaching itself to the pole in there as well. And so I think it is going to be a happy camper and grow really well for me, and I just can't wait for it to like start zooming as much as I know they can. I know they get to the point where they just grow like crazy, grow like beasts, and I am so excited for that. I say that now until it's like grown huge and it's growing too fast for me to keep up with it. But I want that to happen. I do. I think it's gonna be fun. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I can take loads of cuttings and have a good time with it. I also do need to give this a dust. I'll do that after this video, but yeah, giving it a dust will probably help it grow even faster. I'm just so pleased, because I feel like this, I don't know, this leaf just is the correct, it's just the correct thing. It's just doing what it's supposed to do and grow more. So yeah, they're not fenestrations, or are they fenestrations? I really don't know. What would you call these? Would you call these lobes or fenestrations on the Raffida decursiva? Put your vote down below, because to me they feel like lobes, because the leaves get bigger, and so it's like they'll just become longer and have more lobes coming out, as opposed to having the leaf split. I don't really know. Does that even make sense? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I'm really excited about it and really happy that it is actually doing the good stuff now. So the next few, I need to do a little shift, change the angle and stuff, because I need to kind of bring you to them because they are big and or unmovable. So let's go have a look at those now. The next one I want to share, because I'm just like in awe over, is my bird of paradise. It is putting out so many new leaves right now, so you can definitely see this one here, this spike, but there's another one there, and they're both like, they're so big and beautiful. And I think there's another, I think this leaf is like new on it as well. It is just doing a lot, and I think part of that is because of the repot I did for it. I don't know, I don't remember if it was in June or July, but I did that huge repot of it, and since then it has been able to stay a little bit more moist, given these leaves were like starting to come in before I did the repot at all. But I think now that it's able to stay a little bit more moist, hopefully it'll mean bigger, better, more frequent growth going forward. And it's just doing so well, and it makes me happy. It's like proper jungle vibes. It really helps make this corner like really pop. I mean, because the monster is doing not very much, and y'all know how I feel about my Martianum in a minute. So this one's really holding this whole corner together in terms of like good vibes. So yeah, it's so cool and big and beautiful, and I love watching these leaves unfurl and size up. I do think I want to try and do that like hack with the leaves where you wrap it in a warm towel to try and get it to like release, because it looks like the leaves, I mean, they've just been spikes for quite a while, and I feel like they might need a little bit of coaxing to come out, but I think I might want to join that in with like a whole plant hacks video, trying plant hacks video coming up in the next couple weeks. So if they don't pop out before then, we can try that hack together on there. So next up, we are going to go inside of my prop box because I've got some fun, exciting new things going on in here at the minute. And I'm kind of counting this as 2. It is more than 1 or 2 plants, but I'm kind of excited about them as a whole, as opposed to just 1 plant. So, I mean, that is kind of confusing. Maybe I should just shut up and show you. But something that happened this month is I did a swap with a friend, and they have loads and loads of Rex begonias, and I now have loads and loads of Rex begonias in here. Oh, just look at that are doing so well, and I'm just like so excited about at the minute, and like enthralled by, because they're so cool and weird and like fun, and it's just so different than a lot of the other plants I have. So I'm gonna show you some of my favorites at the minute, and I don't know their names off the top of my head. I will try and find them and put them on the screen if I can, but look at that. So a lot of these were given to me as like single leaves like this, and so far in the few weeks that I've had it, it has given me 3 more, and this one is so cool and like iridescent silver. It's just so strange, and like the bigger the leaves get, I feel like they get less silver but more polka dotty. But like it's just crazy seeing how much these root, because they root so differently to other types of plants. I just don't, I don't really understand it. Like this one as well. Look at all those roots in there. This one is like a really like funky, hairy one. I don't know if you can see the hairs. They're hairy, alright? They're really cool and weird and hairy. But just like, I'm more enthralled by these roots because they're just so cool and weird. And I don't know, I feel like these aren't what I would ever think I would go for. They're not something I feel like I would normally get behind, but I think I'm just interested in trying new things and like sort of branching out my collection at the minute. Got this little one here, which hasn't given me any new growth, but it's got good roots on there, and this one is also super duper fuzzy, which is fun. I've got a couple of those in here. And this one, oh, am I gonna be able to get that out? I don't think so. A lot of them are like properly attached to the moss in there, which is good. That's what we want. But this one, some of the like big bit of the leaf melted, but the new growth in there is coming in so nicely. So it's like, I don't know, it's just a bit of fun trying a new thing and experimenting with it, because this is unlike anything else I have. I've never grown Rex begonia before. I still find them a little bit more difficult. I think this is because they do melt, but putting them in a prop box situation has been like the best answer for me, because it has allowed them to like keep the really, really high humidity. I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do once they grow out of this box, because like they're gonna need to go somewhere else, I would assume. Maybe I just need to get like a big begonia terrarium thing, but at the same time I don't know if I have space for something like that in my collection. So I don't know exactly what's going on with them, but I am just really, really enjoying this new kind of experiment phase of my collecting and trying new things and learning, because it is a learning process, and so what's not to love about that? And then lastly, it is my Dioscorea discolor. I am obsessed with this plant right now, and I feel like it is doing so well for me. Kind of in the last month, I think it has really popped off. I think I have been just like a little bit better at watering it than normal, but I physically cannot move this plant without untangling the entirety of it because it is essentially climbing the side of the shelves, which I love. I love the way it looks. I love how like new leaves pop in different places, and the new leaves that I'm getting are quite big as well. Like, this is the size of my hand. I've got another one the same size up at the top. It is just going so well, and like I couldn't ask for it to be doing better, and I think having it in semi-hydro is good for it because it does like that constant supply of water. And I was ever so slightly worried about this one not being in a terrarium setting because the person who gave this to me originally, they keep theirs in a proper terrarium and it's growing really well in there. And so I was a bit scared that I wasn't going to be able to replicate that just out in my home. But I'm really glad that it hasn't like really needed that sort of terrarium vibe. It has been able to just function on its own. So I'm obsessed with this one right now, and like every day I like coming in and looking. Even though it's in the office, which I don't go in all that often, I feel like I come in here just to see how well this one is doing. So that is it. Those are my top 10 plants for the month of July. Things that I am super duper excited about and really just having a good time with. I'd be really curious to hear your top 10 at the minute, or even just top 3. What plants are going well for you in your collection right now, or that are surprising you in a positive way. But yeah, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in a future video, and subscribe or more. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and don't forget to keep growing. Bye!